Hate is such a luxury. If you have time to sit around watching someone else's life, judging their choices, commenting on their mistakes, rooting for their downfall, you're not busy as you think you are. You're not busy enough. Because people who are in survival mode don't have time to hate. People who are building something real don't have time to hate. People who are healing, growing, evolving just don't have time to hate. Hate requires a lot of free time. It requires emotional energy when you're not even investing in yourself. And that's the part nobody wants to admit. People that are hating on you are often hating on you because there's something inside of them that they lack. There's something inside of them, and they may even want to emulate you. They may even want to become you, and they may deny it to friends and other social circles. But ultimately, there's something about you that they just don't like, and it has a lot more to do with themselves. Who actually has time to hate? Let's be honest. The loudest critics are rarely the hardest workers. The people who talk the most rarely do the most. The ones pointing fingers aren't building anything with their hands. Hate comes from spectators. That happens a lot on social media. When you get into the social media world, you'll find a lot of people hating on you. You'll find a lot of people putting negative comments inside of your posts, trying to down you, trying to dissuade you from pursuing your goals and dreams. But ultimately, those are people who aren't creating anything, who aren't building anything, because they have time to sit back and be these little gremlins online. And that means they got a lot of free time and nothing in their life is moving forward. They're just kind of stagnant. Oftentimes when people come on the post and they're hating or they say negative comments, they can be ignored. Sometimes I respond. Sometimes I don't, depending on my mood. But ultimately, I know I'm working towards something better than what they're doing in their own lives, and that pisses people off. People sitting in cheap seats critiquing the game like they do for the Super Bowl, but never stepping onto the field. It's easy to tell a guy, oh, you're such a loser. I can't believe you didn't run and get that touchdown. Or, wow, you dropped the ball. This guy is just such a bum. You can't even run. You're out of shape. You don't have the ability to do what these NFL players do. But it's easy to critique someone else's process or someone else's work that they're doing in their life. But when it comes to you reflecting on your own shortcomings, you find that hard to do. When you're overwhelmed with responsibility, when you're focused on paying bills, when you're trying to break cycles, when you're raising kids, healing trauma, rebuilding your life, you don't wake up thinking, let me log on and tear someone else down. That's the last thing I have time to do. I'm often creating in different areas of my life or trying to improve my life in different areas. So I rarely have the ability to sit back online and be a little terror. Every now and then I'm a little terror online, but oftentimes it's with the idea of joking or trying to improve something or a situation or calling out some of the issues here in society. Oftentimes you're too tired for that. Hate is a symptom of stagnation. It's what happens when someone feels powerless over their own life. So instead of changing themselves, they try to shrink you. People will minimize your growth. You ever heard someone say to you, oh yeah, I heard you started that little business. Anytime someone uses that phrase little in front of whatever they're describing about your life, oftentimes that's that covert operation of hate kind of activating. You have to pay attention to what people say. Oh, I saw your little car that you got. It's nice. I like that little car. Right? Downplaying it, minimizing it. And it may have taken you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to obtain this vehicle. This could be your dream car, but then you'll bring it in front of people that you want to be celebrated with and they'll downplay it. You got to keep an eye on folks like that because they'll do that in the most subtle of ways. Why hate feels so good? This is another piece. Why people feel, why hate feels so good to folks. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Hate gives people false sense of power. It gives you a false sense of power. For a moment, tearing someone else down makes you feel taller. For a moment, judging distracts them from judging themselves. For a moment, your progress highlights their lack of movement. And instead of facing that, they attack it. Hate isn't easier than discipline, easier than consistency, easier than accountability. It's easier to say you're fake than to admit I'm scared to try. It's easier to say you got lucky than to admit I quit. It's easier to say you changed than to admit I stayed the same. That's a lot easier. A lot of times, if you want to start this social media world, you just got to keep going. A lot of people are going to fall off because they don't have the tenacity. They don't have the consistency. They don't believe in themselves. And they'll often direct that lack thereof towards someone intently. They may know your moves before you even know yours because they're studying you, but they're only studying you to tear you down. They're not studying you to help you build you up. They're not bringing any new ideas into your world or challenging you in different positive ways. They're studying you because they want to try and figure out how they can break you the most. Let me clear something up. People don't hate what they don't care about. They don't study strangers they're indifferent to. They don't monitor people they don't envy. They don't keep tabs on lives they made peace with. Haters are students of progress. They know when you post. They know when you win. They know when you stumble. You notice the details supporters miss. And here's the irony. They are paying more attention to your life than you are. That's why hate feels personal, but it's not. It's projection. You represent something they don't want to believe in themselves. So instead of asking, how can I become that? They ask, how do I discredit that? The trap of responding to hate. This is where we get caught up. A lot of times we want to defend the hate or kind of stand up for what we're working on. We want to improve ourselves. So we feel like we need to defend ourselves. Oftentimes, if you really want to piss off a hater, no response is the best response. Silence is true power. So now let me challenge you. The moment you clap back, the moment you explain yourself, the moment you argue with someone committed to your misunderstanding, you enter their economy. You're spending your energy where it gives no return. Hate wants your attention, the emotional reaction, your time. And every time you engage, you confirm that this matters to me, that your level of hate that you're putting on me matters. Whenever you see a hater in your comments, or you hear a snide comment, or you hear a little bit of hate creep out of somebody's mouth, or the way they're moving, just kind of move away from them. Ultimately, that doesn't fuel that cycle. They can't hate on you unless they're engaging, right? They can push that hate out, but if they have no way to engage in a dialogue or get any feedback from you, they'll often just disappear. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is efficiency. The truth is, you don't owe clarity to people who committed to confusion. You don't owe access to people who only want ammunition, and you don't owe explanations to people who aren't building themselves or doing anything with their lives. Let them talk. You've got work to do. That's what you got to understand. You got some work to do. And if you got haters, it's often said that you're doing something right. If you don't have any haters, you're not doing anything right. You got to keep pushing forward because the haters will come. The more successful you become, the more hate you will have to take on. But that's okay because they'll let you know you're going in the right direction. The real translation of hate, that's what we got to question. So next time someone hates on you, translate it correctly. They're not saying I don't like you. They're saying you remind me of who I'm not becoming. They're not saying you're wrong. They're saying you're forcing me to become comfortable in my own problems. You're forcing me to analyze my own problems and my own issues. That's what people are looking for. You're forcing me to confront my discomfort with myself. They're not saying you don't deserve this. They're saying I stopped believing I could have it. That's oftentimes what happens when people stop going after their dreams and goals, stop pursuing their purpose. It gives them an opportunity to focus on what you are doing, but let them watch. Because ultimately, while you're climbing the ladder or you're moving towards what you desire, they can sit back and eat their popcorn and be a Monday morning couch coach. That's what they have an opportunity to do. And it has nothing to do with you. Just remind yourself of that. It has nothing to do with you. But here's the hard truth. When you're truly focused on becoming who you're meant to be, hate doesn't even cross your mind. It doesn't need revenge. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. You don't need applause. Just need momentum. So stay busy. Be busy growing, be busy healing, be busy building a life that doesn't require explanation because hate isn't power. It's free time and you've got better things to do. And this is your boy Anwar here at the Veracious Podcast. And I appreciate you staying with me. Drop a line down below. Tell me who's hating on you. You can even put their name or you can put what area they are in your life or who you may think they'll be. But we all have haters. People that make snide comments. You see the looks when you go to work, you pull in with a new car, or if you got some new things going on for your life, you can identify the haters easily, but don't let the haters slow you down. I really appreciate you guys staying with me. Again, this is your boy here at the Veracious Podcast, and stay tuned for more amazing podcasts. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Peace.